Okay, so this is my removable panniers. I just take a regular set of panniers that you get from, these are from eBay, and I think it was about 12 bucks, double set, so it has two pockets, and it's a saddlebag version, so you can just remove it, take it with you. This is a standard rack, and I'll talk about this modification in a second, but these panniers don't have this Velcro here, and this is what I added. You can stitch this on, or what I did was stitch. It's pretty bad. I don't have a sewing machine, and then put some hot glue and all throughout here. And it's surprisingly how tough hot glue is, fabric to fabric. I mean, it takes a lot of shear strength to break that. And all we're trying to do is just, once I'm loaded down with groceries, and I do this every week, so I put this through it's an extension, take it back to the point where you're not going to get heel strike. Mine, I made it make sure it was all the way back. I just put my double-sided Velcro strips on top, and then I have a great version of a hold down system without it trying to come up. The secondary item is these clips. This is the original bungee cord actually broke, so I fashioned one. You can get these at the Dollar Tree. You get 6 of them for $1. So I did that, put them together, and then made a nice thick end using just electrical tape, and then zip tie, and then 2 more zip ties, so that creates that hook. So that way this whole thing is actually pulling down all the time, and it will pull down into the lower part of the rack down here and clip right on. So that just helps it keep stable when you're riding around. But you can actually clip this when you're going to shopping, and just turn this back around and clip it into itself. So I find it helpful so it doesn't catch on the cart when you say you put this in a cart, and that's what I do. I load up the cart with groceries, and then at the cashier everything will stay in the cart. So you can do Aldi's or Walmart or whatever. Keep the stuff in the cart. Don't bag it. Have the person put it back in the cart. And then you take this and you can bag it up the way you want to. Otherwise, you can put everything in plastic bags and then load the plastic bags up. And it just makes it for easier case, so you don't have to deal with taking all the plastic bags and trying to make that all work outside, potentially in the dark or in the rain. You can take this whole bag inside very easily, load up your groceries, or put them in bags and then load them up. I just find it a lot easier. Doing this for a year has been, without these, was more painful than with these. So all the tip is just to find double-sided Velcro like this. It comes in a giant reel at Home Depot for, it's too much, it's 20 bucks for a reel, but you'll never use that much. Tips for me would be, if you can, machine sewing machine this down instead of trying to do it by hand, because it's very thick. If you have an ability to create like a fastener system, almost like rivets, not things that won't pop off, you can do that. And in my case, I added a piece. You can see this. I added this because I didn't make this tail long enough, so I feel like it wasn't tight enough. Now I've extended it, and then I extend it out past here, so I have a tab to pull from. That way you're not trying to dig your fingers under here. Once I take this whole thing into the grocery store, and I can load it all down with everything I need. Hook the clip. This is a extension, so this allows this fabric piece, which is 1.5 inches wide, to actually go through there, and it takes this whole pannier back, because otherwise I would get heel strike issues hitting the bag as it was sort of centered. So this is just 1/2 inch PVC, just the elbows, and zip tied to it, 3 on each side, and that creates that extra distance away and provides a nice area. My bike rack does not have a square transition. This actually this bike rack goes back into itself at an angle. So what happens is it'll pinch these 1.5 inch wide straps, and it'll almost like they want to collapse it, which doesn't give good area to cover when it tries to grab onto, and it deforms this too. So if you can, use a bike rack with a square back, or create your own little extension. And then lastly, this little jobber is a Z bracket you get at Home Depot too. It's 50 cents. Put 2 lock washers or a lock nut on the back side of this, and what it does is extends the flasher. In this case, this is the bike flasher, and it's controlled up front. I have a directional signal here to the left. There we go. You can kind of see it right there. Turn it at you, or back right. And this is just something you get on eBay for a couple bucks too, but it kind of helps at night. But what's happening was, now that when I extended this was being obviously interfered with, so I had to extend this as well. So 50 cents of a Z bracket, another 50 cents to $1 in hardware. You can extend your bike light, so you can actually get groceries like most people, like I do, after work. It's dark out, so hope that helps. Velcro on your panniers. You can make your own on an existing saddlebag, but I find that getting a saddlebag already made is just a lot more convenient, and the stitching is relatively good too. Lastly, I added a quick little, I'll call it a removable top bag, and that bag is just what I've had for a long time. It's just this little bag. It's actually another set of panniers. This little guy, he comes out and rolls down, but I really use this a lot for getting I don't know, put gum, a hat, trash, as I found that on the road today. And so I use it as more of a carrying case instead of using a front bag. I like the top one. But what I ended up doing was finding double-sided, because I wanted this part to actually be also to adhere down. So I took hot glue, and because stitching was a nightmare with this, it's way too thick. Took another piece, cut it, spaced it, and then another front piece up here just for added. And so it's not pretty, but it doesn't need to be. What's nice about this is I can put this whole thing down and it doesn't come off. I've come off lots of curbs in the last month or so, and there's been no issue with this coming off. But you can just hold it down, take it off. When I do load this down really heavy especially these side bags are open, so I have these bags full and these bags full down here. It's a lot of weight, so I just take a set of bungee cords, put that on there, and then I'll go around this top portion. See, there's like an indentation in this piece here, and I'll bungee this just really quickly down to the bike rack, and that provides that extra protection so it doesn't lift off and fly off. Anyway, been doing this for a month. Homemade extension for the light as well, and then adding the Velcro. I think this has changed how I get groceries. I'm able to go now and quickly get groceries without having to screw around with a bunch of bags. It took just 2 hours to do all the stitching and the hot gluing. If you have another method, try that instead. Maybe there's another method you like to adhere fabric to each other, but this worked for me. Hopefully it works for you.